to be honest. I thought he was edging it a little bit. And then when he cut him in the last round, I'm like, okay, it's either going to be 6-6 or 7-5. I was actually shocked to hear, I think 116, 112. Neither guy won 8 rounds to me.
I think it is extremely bullshit. It's like they awarded Bivol the win for making it to the finish line. Because he didn't win.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back, slamming the judges for what he called a blatant robbery. He described the scoring as a disgrace, arguing that the real winner was robbed. The boxing world is now buzzing with controversy, and fans are demanding justice. Promoter Frank Warren also expressed dissatisfaction with the result, and is already pushing for a trilogy to settle the debate once and for all. Probably the two best of their generation, and maybe of the 21st century. Unbelievable fight, much better than the first one. They gave their all, and we're probably going to get a trilogy out of it now, Warren said. However, while Warren hypes up a third fight, many fans believe Bivol was robbed and see no point in another rematch if judging issues persist. Others argue that Beterbiev's relentless pressure justified the win, regardless of the scorecards. The controversy has reignited frustrations over boxing's judging system, with growing calls for major reforms. Coach Stephen Edwards also weighed in, agreeing that Beterbiev deserved the victory, but highlighting a different issue: biased commentary. He felt the broadcast team heavily favored Bivol, making it seem like he was performing better than he actually was. According to Edwards, this isn't the first time Bivol has received this kind of treatment, and he warned that if the fight had been any closer, the judges might have leaned in his favor again. The debate is intensifying, emotions are running high, and whether fair or not, this fight has left the sport shaken. One thing is certain: the rivalry is far from settled.
I thought it was a great fight. I don't like the way the announcers favor everything Bivol does. I'm being totally honest. With the first part of the fight, I think I saw something up on the screen. Beterbiev had a good round, and they were showing highlights of Bivol. The same thing happened in the first fight. I picked Beterbiev, but I honestly was saying to myself,
his comments have ignited yet another debate. Was Bivol actually winning more rounds, or did the commentary make it seem that way? Some fans believe biased announcing can shape public perception, while others argue that Bivol genuinely outperformed Beterbiev in key moments. The controversy now extends beyond just the scorecards. It's about how the entire fight was framed. The fight continues, and this debate isn't dying down anytime soon. Edwards added even more fuel to the discussion, stating that the fight was razor close and could have easily been scored a draw. He acknowledged that both fighters gave everything, and that neither man clearly dominated the other. In his view, the fight came down to the final rounds, where Beterbiev edged it by securing 2 of the last 3.
so Bivol fought his butt off again. And to me, it's no real separation between the two. The fight looked like it was a drawish kind of fight again. You know, down the stretch, I thought Beterbiev won the 10th, Bivol won the 11th, and Beterbiev won the 12th. I thought that the fight was in.
His take has further divided fans. Some agree that the fight was extremely close and that a draw would have been a fair outcome, while others insist that Beterbiev's relentless pressure should have earned him a clearer victory. Meanwhile, Bivol's supporters argue that he did enough to win, even in a tight contest. With no clear consensus, the controversy surrounding the fight continues to grow, and calls for a trilogy are only getting louder. Adding to his analysis, Edwards pointed out that Beterbiev took control in the middle rounds, while Bivol mounted a strong comeback later. He felt that Beterbiev wasn't given enough credit for his early work, particularly in the first round. In Edwards' view, Beterbiev came out strong, setting the pace and landing solid shots. However, he was surprised to hear some people claim that Bivol was up 30-27 after 3 rounds, as he believed the first round was too close to call a clear win for Bivol. He argued that while not much action took place in the opening round, It still needed to be scored properly, and dismissing Beterbiev's early efforts was unfair.
I thought Beterbiev took over the middle rounds. Bivol came back on. It was a back and forth kind of thing. I thought Beterbiev wasn't getting enough credit for the earlier, but like the first round, I thought Beterbiev won. But somebody said that Bivol was up 30-27. I'm like, I think Beterbiev might have won the first round. Much didn't happen, but it still has to be scored. They're really, really hard.
His comments have only intensified the ongoing debate. Some fans and analysts now believe Beterbiev's early success was overshadowed by the broadcast team's emphasis on Bivol's movement. Others argue that Bivol's late surge was more impactful, especially in the championship rounds. With constant momentum shifts throughout the fight, scoring it was incredibly difficult, as neither fighter established clear dominance. The controversy continues to grow, fans remain deeply divided, and the demand for a trilogy fight is reaching new heights. If a third fight happens, it could serve as the definitive chapter in one of boxing's most intense rivalries. Edwards has taken his criticism a step further, addressing what he sees as a major issue in boxing: biased commentary influencing public perception. He believes that commentators should remain completely objective, but instead, they often push a specific narrative. In his opinion, the bias in this fight was just as evident as in their first encounter. He argued that for 2 fights in a row,
Not calling anybody out, but something's happened in boxing that I just think that we just need to address. You know, the commentators have to be completely objective.
the commentary team consistently favored Bivol, even when the action in the ring didn't fully support that perspective. Edwards also pointed out that the replays shown during the broadcasts seemed to highlight Bivol's moments more than Beterbiev's, further shaping the perception of who was winning.
I also feel like that corral around the ring, nobody should be there except for judges, officials, and the integrity of the fight. I'm not calling anybody out, but you got promoters that can see.
His statements have added yet another layer to the ongoing debate. Some fans agree that biased commentary can shape public perception and even influence judges sitting ringside, while others argue that Bivol's more visually appealing style naturally drew the attention of broadcasters. Regardless of which side people take, one thing is clear: the fight isn't just being analyzed for what happened inside the ring anymore. It's now being scrutinized from every possible angle, including how it was presented to the world. As the controversy continues to escalate, calls for more balanced and unbiased commentary in boxing are growing louder. Edwards has also raised another major concern: ringside integrity. He believes the area around the ring should be strictly controlled, with only judges, officials, and cornermen allowed near the action. In his view, the current setup compromises the fairness of high-stakes fights. He pointed out that too many individuals, including promoters, move around near the judges, creating potential conflicts of interest. Even more troubling, he suggested that some promoters might be gaining access to scorecards before the fight is over, allowing them to inform their teams about the scoring in real time. Edwards also noted that some promoters have been seen shouting instructions within earshot of the judges, creating an environment where outside influence could potentially sway decisions. His claims have sparked outrage among fans, with many demanding stricter regulations on who is allowed ringside during major fights. The possibility that promoters could have access to scorecards or influence officials has only intensified the growing frustration over boxing's judging system. While some see Edwards' statements as a reflection of long-standing concerns, others believe his remarks serve as undeniable proof that the sport